Module 5: Advocacy, Mutual Aid, and Healing-Centered Praxis is on advocacy, mutual aid, and healing-centered praxis. We will discuss different forms of advocacy, the impacts of mutual aid, and how to incorporate healing-centered praxis and how it benefits migrants. Grassroots activism plays a crucial role in advocating for immigrant rights and driving policy change at local, national, and international levels. Grassroots activists, composed of community members, advocates, and organizers, mobilize to raise awareness about immigration issues, challenge unjust policies, and amplify the voices of marginalized migrant communities. Through protests, rallies, petitions, and grassroots organizing efforts, they pressure policymakers to enact reforms that prioritize humane immigration policies, protect the rights of immigrants, and promote social justice. Grassroots activism fosters community empowerment, builds solidarity across diverse groups, and drives systemic change by mobilizing collective action to address the root causes of inequality and injustice in immigration policies and practices. Examples of grassroots activism include community organizing. Grassroots organizations mobilize community members to collectively address immigration challenges, build solidarity, and advocate for policy change through grassroots campaign actions. Direct action. Activists engage in direct actions such as protests, rallies, and civil disobedience to raise awareness, challenge unjust immigration policies, and demand immediate change. In lobbying, activists engage in advocacy efforts to influence policymakers and elected officials through lobbying, letter-writing campaigns, and meetings to advance immigrant rights and shape immigration policy. Education and outreach. Grassroots organizations conduct educational initiatives and community outreach programs to provide information, resources, and support to migrant communities and allies, empowering them to take action and advocate for their rights. Co-building. Grassroots organizations collaborate with other social justice groups, labor unions, faith-based organizations, and community stakeholders to build broad-based coalitions and alliances for collective action on immigrant rights issues. Moving beyond individual and group advocacy, another form of support is mutual aid. Mutual aid groups play a critical role in providing essential support and solidarity to immigrant communities, especially in times of need or crisis. These groups operate on the principle of solidarity and collective action, where members come together to provide assistance, resources, and care to one another without relying on traditional hierarchical structures or formal institutions. Mutual groups can quickly mobilize resources, support, and assistance to address the urgent needs of immigrant communities during time of crisis, such as natural disasters, immigration raids, or economic hardships. They operate from a centered community where members actively involve and engage immigrant community members in decision-making processes, ensuring that support and assistance are tailored to their specific needs and priorities. Members of mutual aid often share cultural and linguistic backgrounds with immigrant communities, facilitating effective communication, understanding, and trust building in providing support and assistance. Provide several things, including the ability to address immediate needs. Mutual aid groups respond to the immediate needs of immigrant communities, including access to food, shelter, healthcare, legal support, and other essential services, especially for those facing economic hardship, discrimination, or immigration-related challenges. Promote collective empowerment. Mutual aid groups provide a platform for immigrant communities to organize, mobilize, and advocate for their rights and interests, amplifying their voice and agency in shaping their own futures. Cultivate trust and solidarity. Through acts of mutual aid and solidarity, these groups cultivate trust, empathy, and a sense of belonging within immigrant communities, creating networks of support and care that transcend cultural, linguistic, and other barriers. Challenge injustice. Mutual aid groups challenge systemic injustices and inequalities that disproportionately affect migrant communities, advocating for structural change and social justice through grassroots organization and collective action. Foster cultural exchange and understanding. By bringing together individuals from diverse backgrounds, mutual aid groups facilitate cultural exchange, mutual learning, and cross-cultural understanding, enriching the fabric of community life and fostering greater empathy and solidarity. Important to use a healing-centered approach. When using a healing-centered approach to working with new immigrants, we are focusing on recognizing and responding to the complex and often traumatic experiences they may have encountered before, during, and after migration. This approach prioritizes the well-being, dignity, and agency of immigrants, focusing on promoting healing, resilience, and empowerment. By incorporating healing-centered responses and practices of care into organizational policies, programs, and services, organizations can create supportive environments that promote healing, empowerment, and resilience for immigrant individuals and communities. When incorporating healing-centered practices, it's important to aim for several key objectives. These include cultivating cultural competence. Organizations must foster cultural competence among staff by promoting understanding, respect, and appreciation for the diverse backgrounds, experiences, and needs of immigrant communities. Creating safe and welcoming spaces. Establishing safe and welcoming environments where immigrant individuals feel valued, respected, and supported is essential. This involves creating physical spaces that are inclusive and accessible, and fostering a culture of empathy, trust, and belonging. Centering trauma-informed and healing-centered care. Organizations should adopt trauma-informed and healing-centered approaches that recognize and respond to the trauma and healing needs of immigrant people. This includes providing supportive services, resources, and referrals to address mental health needs and trauma recovery. Facilitating healing circles and support groups. Organizing healing circles, support groups, and community gatherings that provide opportunities for healing, storytelling, and mutual support can be powerful tools for fostering resilience and solidarity within immigrant communities. Integrating arts-based healing practices. Incorporating arts-based healing practices such as music, dance, visual arts, and storytelling can provide creative outlets for expression, healing, and connection among immigrant individuals. For our last reflection, please spend some extra time thinking about these prompts and carry the answers with you throughout your time working with immigrant populations. In what ways can we prioritize the voices and perspectives of immigrants in our advocacy work, ensuring that their needs and priorities are central to our efforts? How can we create safe and inclusive spaces for immigrants to share their stories, experiences, and aspirations, fostering healing and empowerment within our organization? What resources and supports can we provide to immigrant-led mutual aid groups and grassroots organizations to strengthen their capacity for advocacy and community building? And how can we continually assess and adapt our approaches to ensure that they are responsive to the evolving needs and priorities of immigrant communities, promoting meaningful and sustainable change? Thank you.